Good morning. We're in Genesis 25. Then again, Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah. And she bare him Zimram, and Jokshan, and Medan, and Midian, and Ishbak, and Shua. Wow. Okay, guys. So look, Abraham was 100 years old when he conceived Isaac, I believe. Or one of them. Pretty sure it was Isaac, but yeah. And he took another wife, and he's having more kids. So God is definitely involved in this, y'all. And I'm gonna go ahead and say this early that we're on YouTube at Preach Facts. 2 words. We're on YouTube at Preach Facts. We'd like to primarily be there, y'all, because it's just more. That's where the real videos are, the whole videos. Okay. Then no. All right. And Jokshan begot Sheba and Dedan. Okay. And the sons of Midian, Ephah and Epher. Okay. And Hanak and Abidah and Eldah. All these were the children of Keturah, and Abraham gave all that he had unto Isaac. Okay. Yep. But unto the sons of the concubines which Abraham had, Abraham gave gifts and sent them away from Isaac his son while he yet lived, eastward unto the east country. Okay. Something going on here, y'all. Okay. And these are the days of the years of Abraham's life, which he lived 160 years and 15 years. That's 175 years. Yeah. Wow. Okay. And then Abraham gave up the ghost. And died in a good old age, an old man and full of years, and was gathered to his people. Okay. And his sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah, in the field of Ephron, the sons of Zoar the Hittite, which is before Mamre. The field which Abraham purchased of the sons of Heth, there was Abraham buried, and Sarah his wife. Okay. And it came to pass after the death of Abraham that God blessed his son Isaac, and Isaac dwelt by the well of Lahairoi. Now these are the generations of Ishmael, Abraham's son, whom Hagar the Egyptian, Sarah's handmaid, bare unto Abraham. The Bible's giving us a nice recap of what's been going on. Nice recap. Okay, it's telling us what it's telling us. This might be an easy chapter. We'll see. It's telling us who she is and what and what. Okay. The generations of Ishmael. Okay. Now these are and these are the names of the sons of Ishmael by their names according to their generations. The firstborn of Ishmael, Nebahoth, and Kedar, and Adbeel, and Mibsam, and Mishma, and Duma, and Massa, Hadar, and Tema, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedema. These are the sons of Ishmael, and these are their names by their towns and by their castles. 12 princes according to their nations, and these are the years of the life of Ishmael, 137 years. And he gave up the ghost and died, and was gathered unto his people. And I said this before, that if I'm not mistaken, the line of Islam came through Ishmael. So, this is an important point, y'all, because 50%, or because I would say 40% or 50% of the world's religion is based off of one dude and one God. Okay. So, now, and these are the years of the life of Ishmael, 137 years, and he gave up the ghost and died, and was gathered unto his people, and they dwelt from Havilah unto Shur, that is before Egypt, as thou goest toward Assyria. And he died in the presence of all his brethren. And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac. Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel the Syrian of Padanaram, the sister to Laban the Syrian. Okay, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife. Okay. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren, and the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. Entreated, y'all. Let's take a look at that up here. 21. 25, 21, Genesis. It says, and Isaac prayed to the Lord. So prayed. Over here in King James, it's entreated. How about this wisdom, huh? And you thought you weren't going to get anything at this channel. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. His prayer. I kind of like entreated. Entreated. I like it. Okay. So Isaac entreated the Lord. Okay. Entreated. 25, 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord. Entreated. Okay. Something going on there. I'm gonna use it. Another morsel. Okay. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. I may have been wrong about the Islam thing. It may have separated right here. It may have been, this may be the line of separation. I thought it was Ishmael, but it may be one of these 2 sons that go through to start the lineage down to Muhammad. I may be wrong. It happens. The other day I said that cremation, where does it mention cremation in the Bible? And it does mention it twice, but not in a respect where that's common practice. One of the bodies, Paul's body was mutilated. I mean, Saul's body was mutilated and defiled in the temple of another god. So they burnt him up in war times and took his bones and buried him. Okay. In another case, there was an enemy that they burned. In Joshua, they burned an enemy's body. So somebody had said that to me, and to my relief, when I looked at it, it wasn't in a fashion of it. One of them body was defiled, and Saul was an enemy of the state anyway. I don't care. He was an enemy of the state. My father was cremated, so, whatever, all I'm saying is what I'm saying. I'm standing behind it until I see otherwise. I'm not saying that if someone is cremated, they're not going to be saved or anything like that. I didn't say that. All I'm saying is that what it's saying. Jesus was laid in the tomb. Abraham was laid in the tomb. He laid his wife in the tomb. I don't see anywhere else where they're doing it, so I don't want to start doing that. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So, and the children struggled within her. And she said unto her, the 2 nations shall be separated from thy bowels. This is almost an image of man itself, because you got the spirit man who's being born through Christ, and you have the earthly man that isn't born. We're both 2 nations. 2 things. Our home is not here. Our home is, our home is with the Father, and we're there now. So, Jesus said in one of his parables, somebody said, Lord, how will we know where the kingdom is? No, the scribes or the Pharisees, somebody said to him, Lord, how will we know when the kingdom of God is here or coming? He said, guys, look neither here nor there. When people say, look, he says, the kingdom of heaven is in the midst of you. It's within you. It's in the midst. It's in the midst of you even now, they said. He said, basically. So God is here, Christ has died, and his spirit's in y'all. Guess what? You don't get no closer than that. That's pretty much as close as it gets, y'all. I mean, take or leave it. Take or leave it, y'all. If Christ is in you, he's in you. That's pretty close. He's in you. There's a new creation. It's a new thing. That's pretty close, okay? Anything more would be taking away your whole identity, basically. If you ask me. Alright. He's getting as close as he can without literally taking over completely. I mean, he does take over, but yeah. Okay. And two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other one. People shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be, verse 24, 25, 24, y'all, Genesis. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment. Ooh, okay. Okay. And they called his name Esau. Okay. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she was barren. Now that's cute. You think about a baby coming out, and he's grabbing the heel of the one in front of him. I don't care who you are. That's funny. That's cute. They already wrestling. God likes to wrestle. One of these guys was wrestling with him and hurt his hip. Maybe that's why they had WWE and WWF. Maybe. I don't know. You'd be surprised how involved God is and stuff, y'all. And after that came his brother out. His hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. Now there's something going on here with this order of order of coming out and grabbing the heel and the red and the hairy. There's more meaning here than just that, but we're just going to leave that alone. Okay. We're not, and the boys grew until I have a more definite view on it. And the boys grew, 27, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. Ha ha ha. A plain man dwelling in tents. A plain man dwelling in tents. Ha ha. I like it. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his vision, dwelling in tents. Okay. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison. But Rebekah loved Jacob. There's a lot going on here, y'all. Let's not get hung up on the details, where we're going and what this all means in the big picture. Yeah, there's stuff here, but guys, if you're not getting the sin out your life, this stuff don't mean nothing. So try to pick this stuff apart and just go about your way like you've been doing. There's a lot of stuff here, but the ultimate goal is supposed to lead you to a New Testament where you learn all the details about how we're supposed to be acting. Period. End of story. Good night. Yeah, there's a lot here. It's all supposed to be leading to you to the Christ and what he's saying and what Paul is saying and what Peter is saying and James and all that in Christ. That's what all this is about. Yeah, you can sit here and dig around all day. And if I see something that I can stand out, I'll let you know. Even if it might be something standing out, I'll let you know. Okay. If I see something in here, guys, that has any type of meaning that's going to be relevant where you can grasp it and have some type of substance and evidence for it, or a theory that has any type of grounds to it, guess what? I'm going to tell you. It's here, but it's not going to benefit you at this point because we're just slowing down now. It's here. There's a lot of meaning here about symbolism between nations and yeah, facts. I didn't make the lingo. I'm just following along. Okay. And Esau and Jacob, no, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. Okay. And Jacob sawed pottage. And Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, Sell me this day thy birthright. Now, here is some deeper symbolism. There's definitely some stuff going on here. Another thing, another chapter where the whole Bible is just about contained in this, all relevant principles. You know, and like I said the other day, they have a video out, and it's not a strange teaching that says the first word of the Bible in the Hebrew. It's like 5 letters or something. In the beginning, it's like 1 word or something. But those letters contain the whole Bible story, New Testament, and all about how Jesus was slain for the people. The Son was slain for the people. Yeah. So you can read the whole Bible in a lot of these paragraphs, in a lot of these chapters. The last chapter we just did was basically the whole salvation picture. 24. Okay? So guys, it's everywhere in here. It's everywhere. This is the story. God is trying to say that, hey, I'm giving you proof after proof after proof after proof after proof. And it's just manifestations of proof. The proof manifests itself. So, all of this stuff, the proof is going to tell itself. Yeah. So, yeah, that's the way the truth is. What is truth? Truth is the Christ, period. End of story. Everything else does not really matter. Yeah, there's some facts out there, but not, you know. What is truth? He is the truth, period. Pontius Pilate said, what is truth? He's really the only true thing out there. Yeah, we live in a world. Other than that, everything else is just, you're just flapping gums, man. You're just flapping gums if it doesn't involve the Christ. Truth is practical. Truth is practical. Preach. Yeah, you can be saying stuff, but if it ain't doing nothing, why are you even saying nothing? Okay, it's raining outside, blah, 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 blah. You know, you're... Sheesh, preach. Okay. And Esau said to Jacob, Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, Sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, Behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? This is a grand puzzle. I'm not trying to read into it. It's about the Christ, y'all. It's about us. Literally. And Esau said, Behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? Yeah, it shall do a lot to you. Yeah. And Jacob said, Swear to me to this day, and he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils. Then he did eat and drink and rose up. Oh, here we go with the rose up again. And went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. There's a lot going on here, y'all. And I don't want to read the wrong into it because You know, God came down, gave up his godship. So he can, that's one image of it. Just a couple things that it could be. It doesn't have to necessarily be one. But yeah, for one, God gave up his birthright as God. I mean, not birthright. God gave up his godship to encounter death. He didn't have to do that. He did it for us to fulfill his plan. I don't want to say plan. They don't really have words to describe. The couple words that describe God is, one is eternity. Number two is unjudgeable and perfection. And when God punishes wrath, evil and stuff, that's just another form of love. Wrath is at the other end of the spectrum. Hate is at the other end of the spectrum of love. Love and hate is basically the same thing. So it's just different ends of the spectrum. Okay. So because God is who he is, he can't allow evil to come near him or exist. So yeah, it existed for a time, but guess what? God's pulling up. And it's going to be cleansed out. So it's not like God just has it out for sinners. It's just his natural character that he can't allow this stuff to happen. It happened, but it was just for a moment. It's going away. The evil is going away. If it pops back up, he'll get rid of it again. So yeah, that's the time. That's what we got going on here with the world and evil. It's not that God just has a sport of doing this. It's just not like he has nothing better to do to send people to hell. It's not like that. It's just his quality that he can't let. That's a revelation of his character, that he can't let that stuff exist because of how pure he is. Because we don't see the whole picture of what that actually is, and what. If you don't understand that, then you don't understand what God is. Okay? And how pure he is. And the difference and the contrast between evil and self-seeking. And God is not self-seeking. Okay? Or if he is, he's not wrong, because everything is him. So we can't do that because we're not him. We're just the offshoot of him. If he wants to do that, he can, but we can't. I appreciate everything that God did, and does. So I approve of God, whether that means anything. Lord, forgive me. I approve of God because there's no other option, and just because basically, there is no other option. And I know that he could take me places, and he will, and bring me joy that's unimaginable. So God is going to surpass all of your approval ratings, and God is going to take you places, into levels of peace and joy and contentment that you could never imagine. Any type of self-seeking that you could try to pursue with drugs or anything else, indulgement, would not even compare to what God would do for you if you would just do the right thing. But in our walk with God, y'all, we need to walk not in a manner of we're going to get something. Let's not do it because of those things. We're doing it because it's the right thing to do. And that's the difference between, there's a difference between obligatory, you're doing it because you want something for you, or you're doing it because you just want to you just want to play your part. You just want to serve. There's a difference between doing it. What is your motives for doing this? What is your motive? Yeah, you're escaping hell. Yeah, you're escaping your worst nightmares. Yeah, you're going to get paid. Yeah, you're going to get rewards. But when is it going to be just out of genuine love for God? When is it going to be? All those things are true, but those aren't the prime motivator. Those aren't the prime motivator. The prime motivator is that God loves you. You should love Him back. And yeah, it's true. It's the only way. Yeah, but guys, you need to have some real affection for the Lord, and that should be your motivator, not because of all those other things. Although all those things are true. And I didn't mean to get off on that tangent, but guys, I'm going to unload on you every chance I can. That's what this channel is for. I'm going to unload on you every chance I can about the ideology. Ooh, okay. You should have these ideal motives and ideologies. Okay. All right. You know, that's just the fruit of the Spirit showing you truth and stuff. And I don't have it. If there is an understanding about God and what He's supposed to be, what way we ought to be as far as maximum potential, I wouldn't put a number on it. I wouldn't put a number on it, but I would say, don't ever take God and think you have it down pat. God is infinite, man. There's no telling what we could be close to God or understand. There's no telling. I don't want to say I have it, and I don't want to have it. I mean, I want to have it, but I don't ever want to box God in and say that's it, because God is going to always show you stuff. So. But, I mean, I want to say I'm dead on with that, y'all, and that's as far as we can go. I want to say I'm dead on with my analysis of that. I want to say that, but I don't want to say, because that would be, you know, I don't want to say that that's the whole thing. There's more. But as far as just basic understanding, I say that's pretty dead on. Okay. I would say that's pretty dead on, y'all. It's a pretty simple world we live in, you know, with life, death, you know, consent, birthrights, the Christ, sin, Satan, you know, it's pretty basic stuff. Willingness, faithfulness, obedience, pretty basic stuff. Pretty basic stuff. Motive, truth, genuineness, you know, truth, self-seeking. Pretty basic stuff that we're talking about. It's all one thing. All of this stuff surrounds one thing, and it's God and you. So these are just basic stuff. You know, the Christ. You know, surrender. You know, all this stuff is just basic stuff. You know, learning. You know, pride, covetousness. All this stuff is just surrounding one thing: you and God. If you don't know these principles, you know, then you're not studying. You can do that here. I got a YouTube channel, Preach Facts, with a video from Genesis 1 to Genesis 24, and we're still riding. And in that stuff, I guarantee you'll find some growth in there. Okay? So anyway. And the servant told Isaac, no. 25. And Esau beheld So, guys, that's our reading for the day. Verse 25. And you know, there's a lot going on here but with the meanings between the red hair and grabbing the heel. And it was already said that the older will serve the younger. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that the main division here is between Islam and Christianity. Don't quote me on that, but you know, when Christ died, it was for everybody. He came for the Gentiles, the Jews. So let's not get caught up on that. But yeah, the point is that everything's accounted for. The Christ lineage goes back to these guys. Yes, the genealogies go back to Adam. End of story. Facts. Facts. That's the point. These genealogies lead back to Adam. And they go from here down to Christ. And then down to you. That's what we should be taking away from this. This Bible is not a mythology. It's not a folklore. And since I mentioned that, the Greek mythologies and stuff that they have about all those people and stuff, guys, I look at that stuff as just facts. Like, bro, yeah, there was a time before the fall. You know, he said he'll be like us. There was a heavenly court. There's more stuff going on. There was people. There was. You know, I just look at that stuff, like all that Greek mythology stuff. Like, yeah, that's like a form of Gnosticism. Like, yeah, that stuff is facts, bro. But this is the Most High God. This is the Most High. He's over all that crap. Forgive me, Lord. And, you know, Jesus, you know, that sounds a lot like Zeus to me. So, and Jesus. So, guys, take it or leave it, man. All that stuff that they claim is mythology and folklore, I look at that stuff as actually happening, bro. These are spiritual things, man. You know, the more sin and the more curse we get, the more real this world gets. Before we were just floating around on clouds, don't quote me. We were just floating around on clouds. There really wasn't no real impact about what we were doing. I mean, there was, but as the realer it gets, the more physical it gets. So, all that stuff that happened back then with the Greek mythology and stuff is more like before the fall type of thing. But the more we fall, the more we get more closer to this matter and this death. And so, because the matter is the opposite of the spiritual, I'm guessing. Because, you know, we have the earth and the ground and the dirt and, you know, and all that stuff. You know, we're just getting closer to death, and that's what that is. So, whereas before we was more free moving, there wasn't no like pain and like real consequences and stuff like that. But the further we fall, the more developed the evil gets, and the more withdrawn we get from God, the more serious the consequences and the degree of the physicality of dying and you know, pain and all that comes into play. So, take or leave it, man. It's just one of those things, bro. My mind is just trying to put things together about all this, and it's not too late. We have the Christ. We have everything. So, but yeah, that Greek mythology stuff, I just look at that. It's just like that's our former state, and it's just been like this trickling down effect. And that stuff doesn't necessarily have to be in the past. It's more like a truth telling or another dimension of a overlaid. It's an overlaid truth. Those are in the higher realms, you know, where you have, you know, different things named after different stuff, like, you know, patience and all this, Lady Liberty and all this weird stuff that are symbolized by people. You know, the god of this and that, and that stuff doesn't necessarily have to be not true. That doesn't conflict with all this. Okay? So, whatever, man. God is holy, man. All this stuff. Aphrodite and all that stuff. I'm not saying that stuff isn't true, but it doesn't conflict with this. God is the Most High God. The Most High God, Jesus Christ. You You know, that's anything relevant to you. Don't worry about stuff that isn't relevant to you. You can learn about Greek mythology all that day and believe it and understand it, but guess what? If you're not meeting the criteria, if you're not meeting the criteria, learning all the knowledge in the world is not going to do you nothing. You have to have your inner being and your conduct lining up with this criteria. Now, I feel like I got off on a tangent, y'all, but, you know, don't be upset when I'm dead on with all this stuff, y'all. Because that's what they want to do. I say they. A lot of times stuff is brushed off. Movies, ancient writings, it's poetry, it's this and that. Guys, this stuff is dead on. Dead on. You know, if we live in a digital world, all of this, you know, there's ones and zeros under the microscope. All of these binaries and all this stuff, guys. None of this stuff disproves God. It says in the Bible somewhere that in the Matrix, that, you know, if you come through the Matrix, you know, it says that somewhere. Like it's a digital world, and none of that stuff disproves God, man. And I have a wild theory, but I'm not going to tell y'all. Because it doesn't necessarily disprove God, because, you know, anyway. So let's go to 1 Peter for a few minutes, man, because I feel like I got off on a tangent. But guys, I'm just giving you some world insights about, you know, stuff. But this is what matters, man. Alright, 1 Peter. Alright. Okay, likewise, ye wives, be in subjection. 1 Peter chapter 3. To your husbands, that be in subjection to your husbands, that if any obey not the word, they may also be without the word, be won by the conversation of the wife. Okay, 3. Let's see. Likewise, wives, be subject to your own husbands, so that even if some do not obey the word, they may be won without a word by the conduct of their wives. They may be won without a word by the conduct of their wives. When they see your respectful and when they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear. Respectful and pure conduct. Do not let your chaste conversation coupled with fear. Whose adorning let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting of the hair and of wearing of gold or of putting on of apparel. What they're saying, y'all, is to the women, yeah, you're beautiful. Yeah, you're amazing. But let it be from the inside, you know. Don't entice people with your beauty. Yeah, that's cool and all, but that's not what the Lord wants you to do. The Lord wants you to be internally chaste in your conversation, coupled with fear. Let's see verse 2 up here. Likewise, 2. When they see your respectful and pure conduct. You know, in some of these cultures, you know, women have to wear long dresses and stuff like that. You know, in other cultures, they cover the veil with the face. And this culture is a lot different. Do not let your adorning be external, the braiding of hair and the putting on of gold jewelry, or the clothing you wear. But let your adorning be the hidden person of the heart, with the imperishable beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which in God's sight is very precious. Look at nuns, look at monks. You know, they live a very meek life. They do orphanages. They understand, you know, about this stuff and the innocence, the value of innocence. The world today, that is not a value. The value of innocence and purity has no value in the world. Okay? Yes. The value of innocence and purity. This is me talking. There is a place where people understand that. The value of innocence and purity. I'm just going to leave that alone. And chasteness. Look at nuns, look at monks. Look at priests, they don't even have wives. A priest can't even be married in the Catholic Church. He's given his life to God. A priest can't even have a wife in the Catholic Church. Which, I'm not saying that's bad. It's all about innocence and purity and not having your priorities right. Paul says, if a man is not married, he should not seek to marry. In one place it says that they have a eunuch, y'all, is a man who's been castrated. His genitals have been removed from him, so that he is not as much a threat, or he's not as self-seeking as, you know, somebody with genitals that, you know, will be motivated to do other things. You know, it's commonplace that in Pharaoh's household, and, you know, his servants would a lot of times be eunuchs. And again, the eunuch is a person with no genitals. They've been taken away, cut off, so that they can be around, so that the Pharaoh doesn't have to worry about him putting his genitals or be motivated to have intercourse with his family, or just be. It's just more pure. There's less likelihood of you being a threat or a sin if you have genitals. There's just stuff that you guys don't really know about, man. I'm just trying to share some knowledge with y'all. So, there's levels of purity and degrees of stuff like this. There's levels, okay? So Paul said, if you're not married, don't seek to marry. He says, if you're married, don't seek to unmarry. He said, if you can, it's good for a man not to marry, but it's also good for a man to marry. It's just all about who you are. But yeah, because, you know, A married person is more worried about the affair. Not all the time. A lot of time, a married person is more worried about the affairs of their spouse or pleasing them than they are the Lord. As opposed to somebody who's not married, they can focus more on pleasing the Lord. That's what Paul's trying to say. So, I'm not a walking Bible, y'all. I just know some things about the principle. Okay? And I'm dead set on memorizing Psalm 91. Even if it takes me months. I had it playing last night and all that. I like to memorize many of them. Alright, so. Like I said, guys, we're on YouTube at Preach Facts. We'd like to primarily be there so that we can have the whole body of work. Okay, so we're right here, man. We're at 1 Peter 3, verse 4. So, guys, that's it, man. 1 Peter 3, verse 4. I want to thank you guys for watching again. All right. You can reach out at the Gmail at preachfact7@gmail.com. Preachfact7@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much. See you tomorrow.